Tama Takoyaki Cafe. Located in between Guam Reef and Westin Hotel in Tumon, call them today at 648 Tama. Day and welcome to another episode of In the Mix. I'm Jonah Gancharfris. Thanks so much for tuning in. A great show lined up for you this evening. Coming up, we'll tell you all about the Salvation Army's Rock A9 taking place on Wednesday, April 27th. A little bit later, I introduce you to filmmakers as well as husband and wife Kyle and Nancy Todowski, who have films featured in the upcoming UOG Film Festival Spring Local Showcase. And we close out the show with music from Mariana's Collective when they appeared on Live Local Fridays on Guam's favorite I-94. But first things first, it's another Guam girl making a name for herself abroad in the land down under. Here's more.
If I walk out that door, there's wolves in the city, creeping, prowling, lurking, scary wolves in the city.
24-year-old Heather Manley's love for the performing arts started when she was just 3 years old and involved with Bright Eyes Dance Studio.
I did the hula for about 14 years with Miss Dottie. And then I did John Robert Powers for a little bit, like modeling and singing with Belta Perez since 8 years old. And then I also joined Skip when I was 12 with Miss Knapp. And I did that till I graduated high school, and then even a little bit after, and I went on national dance competitions with them as well.
While attending University of Guam, she was involved in the choir and was in several of the island's musical productions. By then, Manley knew she was ready to turn her passion into a profession.
I knew that I wanted to perform, but I just didn't know what route to go to. So I was always like, oh, do I want to do singing, recording, or do I want to do dance? But then I was like, with music theater, I can do both, so I don't have to make a decision. So I was like, why don't I just do music theater?
It's a passion that took her to the land down under and opened up many doors.
In 2012, in November, I flew over to Sydney and I auditioned for the school. And they only choose 10 girls and 10 boys, and like several hundred people audition and stuff. And it's funny because even my singing teacher was like, oh, maybe you should have a backup plan in case you don't get it, because they only choose 10 girls. I was like, yeah, okay. But I auditioned and yeah, I got in.
In November of last year, she graduated from the Western Australian Academy of Performing Arts, focusing in music theater. It's the same institution that actor Hugh Jackman attended. Soon after she graduated, the graduates would partake in a showcase, which Manley said was nerve-wracking because you're performing in front of the top agents and you have to pick the perfect song. Currently, she's being represented by the Morrissey Agency, the same agency that represents Chris and Liam Hemsworth.
We have a showcase in Perth, and then in Melbourne and in Sydney, and a week in each city. And so all the top agencies from that city go and they watch your showcase. And yeah, so pretty much since November, I've been living out of a suitcase till now, because now I can finally have a place to settle, because I know that I'm contracted in Sydney for a while.
Living the professional performer's life, she has been pounding the pavement, auditioning.
It's been a busy last couple months, and I think we were very fortunate because in the beginning of the year, there wasn't a lot of auditions happening. And in this industry, you can't plan for auditions. Sometimes they just turn up and sometimes they don't. So you never know. Like there's never a constant flow of job opportunities. So like if there's ever an audition, you have to do your best and hopefully, you book it. I just finished doing Rent, and then in a couple weeks I will actually no, in a week I'm flying to Melbourne, and I'm doing a musical called Heather's there for a couple weeks, and then they fly us back to Sydney and we do it in Sydney for a little bit, and then I get to perform at the Sydney Opera House with Heather's. So that's a check off the bucket list.
And after Heather's wraps up, it's straight to rehearsals for Disney's Aladdin, something that Manley is very excited for. As for any piece of advice she would give to those looking to pursue their dream,
it's what my parents have always told me is chase your passion and not your paycheck. Because if it truly is your passion, then it's not work, and you put 100% into it, and no matter what it is, somebody's going to recognize your work because they can tell that you're passionate about it. just go all out, be bold.
If you want to keep tabs with what Heather has been up to, you can follow her on Instagram and Snapchat under heather.makalani. You can also like her page on Facebook.
Shout out to my mom and dad. I guess shout out to my old skip crew and Miss Knapp, Miss Belta Perez, Miss Dottie Marquez, my old university singers in Guam. Shout out to Dr. Randall Johnson. He's the one who helped me with my my audition and everything to get into WAPA.
Don't go anywhere, because when we return, we give you all the details to Salvation Army's Rock A9. You're watching In the Mix.